It's always the same people, isn't it? This is the moorings crowd, and they had been out all morning servicing our club moorings. Previous day they had led the effort to build the flood defences throughout the yard, both across the head of the slip and at the back of the Hampshire County Council car park. During the morning I had watched the weather on the internet. The winds had gusted up to 72 knots at Hurst, and the wave height at Channel Light Vessel was increasing and was already at 4 metres. But the thing that really interested me was the way in which the young flood stand at Dock Head was behaving. Normally the tide goes halfway up, and then it holds for about an hour before carrying on up to high water. On this occasion it was actually dropping at the young flood stand point. I wondered whether this was a precursor to a tidal surge. By 12 o'clock the water had reached over 5 metres and was already slopping against our defences. All we could do was to stand by and wait. The tide curve showed that the water was still rising. It looked as though it was going to rise a deal further. It was a pretty anxious time. At about 20 past 12, the tide peaked at about 5.6 metres, nearly a metre more than predicted. The next half hour was a very anxious time, with water slopping over both of the defences.
Just come on, Ryan, picture.
At one stage it looked as though the barrier at the back of the Hampshire County Council car park would collapse altogether. Some serious work was done by people to try and restore some strength to that barrier, and it held, but only just. Had it collapsed, then it is certain the whole of the clubhouse would have flooded, and indeed quite a few of the cars parked in the yard would have been at serious risk too. At long last, the tide started to recede. The anxiety was not completely over. The defences had to hold for another hour before the water drop clear off. There was some concern that the night tide would attack us again, and considerable work was done repairing and strengthening the defences as the tide dropped. But in the event, the night tide only reached 4.6 metres, and the following day the tide only came level at the top of the slope. We were safe.